What is up, everyone? Welcome back to SRT Amber on the channel today. It is currently Monday, May 19th, 2025, and this is a rescheduled long form that was supposed to happen on Saturday, but that had to be postponed due to some issues. So, today we're going to be talking about something that's super important in our lives that's going to have both a positive and negative influence on each of our lives, specifically in the realm of teenagers, how we live every day, how we socialize and connect with others, and how we express ourselves. And this, y'all probably guessed it by now, is social media. Social media. The thing that we're all basically addicted to in our everyday lives, whether it's from TikTok to Instagram to YouTube, Snapchat, Discord, even streaming services like Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus. Those all fit under the category of social media. So, we'll talk about a few things here that everyone should know about the effects of social media. Let's get right into it. So we're going to start off with the positive effects of social media. So I'm just using SM right here to describe social media, the initials of it. So basically, guys, we've got a few things that can be positive about social media, and in fact, it plays a major role in our lives and how it defines us and how it helps us every day, how it motivates us, and these are all things that are on this list. Even though it doesn't define us fully, it can define parts of us, who we are, not completely though. Sorry, this whiteboard is very hard to hold. But the first thing is social connection and socialization. First thing on the list here. So basically, when you're on social media, you're socializing with people, you are talking to people through direct messages, you are opening up your heart to talk to new people, you're viewing businesses, you are viewing things that can help you like build more connections overall. Maybe it's the reels, posts, stories. You're getting mentioned by other people's stories. Maybe you're mentioning other people in your stories. You're taking part in trends, or basically you're becoming like one part of a social chain. Basically, it's a whole bunch of people, and that connects into this kind of social circle, and that's really good. So the next thing here is expression. Expression in the forms of, let's say, art, hobbies, and interests. Those are just very limited things, but they can describe a large variety of these things. So when you're on social media, I know you might find this a little bit boring. You already know this, but it's really important to know. Trust me on this one. When you use social media, you're expressing yourself. Expressing. I cannot talk. You're expressing yourself in many ways. You're talking to people. You're discussing random things, whether it's just from your daily life. You're discussing your interests. You could be sharing your art if you're posting things. You could be learning new forms of art. You could be even making content that could be part of a hobby that you have. Lots of popular content creators out there. You could be building interests, learning about yourself, learning about your interests and how to expand those even more. Alright, guys, so expression, super important thing, part of life that everyone needs to have within them, and overall, it's just a really good thing. Express yourself, learn new things. Let's get to the next thing, knowledge expansion. Two simple words right there. I bet you know what knowledge means. I hope you do. So knowledge, I'm just going to summarize it again. Knowledge is basically what your brain contains. It's the information that you know about your surroundings, about yourself, about life, scientific proven facts, literally everything. Knowledge is what you acquire at school, at work, and in your environment. So knowledge expansion is something that you can in fact acquire from social media, whether it's from Snapchat, from Instagram, from Discord, TikTok, even streaming things, streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus, like I mentioned earlier in the video. So by being a part of social media, this is a really important part of it, of course. You're increasing your knowledge because a lot of things, especially on like these real or short like YouTube platforms and TikTok, they're showing you a whole bunch of things on your feed like reels and posts coming from a whole bunch of people around the world globally, and this can allow you to really expand what your brain contains. There's a lot of interesting facts, info, like pop quizzes even that people post on these platforms that can actually help you. It can actually expand your brain and get you even a little bit more advanced, even along with school. So that's a really important positive aspect of social media. Throughout this video, I'm going to go through both positive and negatives, and then in the end, I'm going to summarize why you should and why you should not be using social media, and explain to you what a decent plan for social media use should be. So knowledge expansion, yeah, really important. It can give you a lot more insight of daily life, even though it's good in moderation. Alright guys, so the next thing here is the sense of community. As mentioned in the first thing about social connection and socialization, having a sense of community is crucial in social media. That makes you feel part of a group, depending on if it's just a group chat, direct message with a whole bunch of people, or if you're posting things in the same group as someone else, or if you're just overall, even just being a part of that platform can make you feel at home or sense of a group that belongs. Yeah, and that's a good thing, even though it could get excessively negative in some ways, which I'll get to later. It's a good thing because it helps you kind of adapt your environment. It helps you talk to new people, explore new topics, and a whole bunch of different things in that realm. So it's definitely a solid thing that everyone should understand about. Even though y'all probably know all of this, it's good to have perspective from both sides. That's what this video is about. Let's continue. Let's get on to the last thing on the positive list. Even though there's going to be a lot more, but these are the 5 main positive aspects of being a part of a social media platform. Let's get to it. So the last thing I have on this list, guys, so important. Motivation. Motivation is something that a lot of us, believe it or not, majority of people our age, between 12 and 20 years old, lack in life. Yes, when I say lack, I mean truly lack. Whether it spans from working out, to getting that work done, to stopping the procrastination in school, to getting out and doing stuff, to asking people to hang out. Literally anything. A lot of us lack that ability to motivate ourselves or to achieve that motivation to activate ourselves. In terms of social media, all those platforms that we have access to as teenagers, as young adults, as even young teenagers. I'm going to call them teenagers because they are. But yeah, with the social media, a lot of things we see on social media have small ways. Let's name them micro habits, not habits, not microaggressions. I'm gonna call them microaggressions actually, because not in the way like the negative thing, but microaggressions towards you. Those little micro pushes to get somewhere. You're gonna see on day-to-day basis. You're gonna see some reels, some stories, some words, some posts from people, or some messages even from your friends to kind of like lock in, to take charge of yourself, to work out, to get a job. I'm saying that word. There's a lot of things on social media that can motivate you. And that's why that's on this list. Motivation. So take that into consideration. Social media isn't that bad because it does give you a lot of motivation to work hard and to do better. So that's really, really crucial in our everyday lives. Now, let's talk about the negatives. Negative side of social media, which is insanely important to talk about to everyone, to learn why it hurts us. Let's get right into it. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome to the negative effects of social media. Starting off with addiction. Addiction. I think y'all know what addiction means. Addiction is basically relying on something, doesn't matter what it is, but relying on something too much to the point that it becomes a reliance and a need in everyday life. Something that you can't detach yourself from. It's something that impacts you so much that you are becoming so dependent on it that you can't control it. And that is extremely common with social media. Spanning from Instagram to TikTok to Snapchat to YouTube to Discord, anything. All social media platforms, streaming services. Addiction affects so many people globally, worldwide, and it's mostly going to be teenagers in this case. It's just the hard truth. It's going to be teenagers. So, addiction is something that happens when you're using something a lot, especially social media. That's what we're talking about. Maybe you start to develop a habit of using it for hours every day after school on the weekend, and it's kind of getting in the way of your necessities and things you need to do in your everyday life, like chores, helping your family, talking to your family, spending quality time together. It basically separates you from your life. And addiction to social media is going to cause a lot of symptoms, let's call them, that kind of just ruin your perception and your position in relation to reality and how you find yourself in that state. This is so bad for you. Addiction caused by social media is so bad for you. All addictions, but specifically for social media, it's so bad because it's gonna increase your screen time by so much. It's gonna disconnect you from reality. It's gonna loosen up and ruin your relationships with friends and family. It's going to worsen your job opportunities in your future, and it's gonna just mess up everything. So addiction is something that you need to watch out for and prevent at all costs. No lies there. You just need to stop it because it affects so many people, and no one. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't get that. It's not good for you. So don't do it. Let's get on to the next thing. Next is misinformation. So misinformation, guys, is basically the spreading or expansion of false information, false details, or facts that are being projected to everyone on social media. Whether it's spanning from little things like news or just little like instances that we encounter in everyday lives, or big things that could be making people scared or worried or anxious about the future or the current moment. So there's so much misinformation that is found and kept on social media that makes people believe that something is going to happen that never actually will, and it's not true. Misinformation is widespread. It can hurt people physically, mentally. It can alter perspectives of the real world. It can create so much distress that affects everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people in various ways that are not good. So misinformation, you're going to see it. Whether you think it's real or not, it's going to be there every day. You're going to see misinformation. You might not notice it, but it's going to be there. It's so common, and if you've never seen misinformation in your life, then that probably means you're either not noticing it, or you're not on social media, or you're not online that much. And props to you if you're not online that much. That's good. So when misinformation, try to deduct that, and if you do see it, it's not a good thing. That's a really big negative effect of social media for all of you guys. Remember that. Alright guys, next is the loss of potential right here. Everyone here has so much potential, as I've said in a couple of my shorts already. Potential is the content of yourself that allows you to do well in life, to progress, to activate yourself, to have the right mindset, and to do well overall. Be a good person. When you're using social media, especially if it's for elongated periods of time, or you're starting to use it as a habit, as a dependence, as a reliance, you will not necessarily lose, but it's going to be stored in the wrong spot. Think of science, think of biology, where all those fats and proteins are stored in your body. It's basically the same as this. Loss of potential. Potential is stored in social media, in that scrolling, in that online dependence that everyone faces in life. It's basically facing the inevitable. That potential, if you're using social media every day, even if it's a small percentage of that potential, it's going to be put to other things that shouldn't be put to. Your potential should be put to eating healthy, getting exercise, socializing, getting good results in school every day, and getting good jobs, and living, thriving, and being happy. That's what the potential should be put towards, not to those materialistic things that social media brings to you, like that dopamine, and that maybe temporary satisfaction of scrolling. Let's just use that term. Temporary satisfaction. It's loss of potential. It's not necessarily loss, but it's a transfer from one holding region to another. And the other holding region is that spot that it should not be put towards doom. It should be put towards the really important things. Okay, well, we're going to go back to the positive. If you're using potential to make content that inspires people, like I'm doing now, that motivates, that's great. That's awesome. That is using your potential wisely. But for the majority of time, social media, transferring that potential over there isn't going to help you a lot. So that's a big thing. Let's get to the next thing. Security issues. Security issues. Even though this is a little bit less common, even though it's still very common, security issues, whether it's from online breaches to impersonation to child endangerment, I'm going to get into the serious stuff here. This is a serious concern in terms of social media. Even if you're considered an adult, like 18, or you're approaching that age, or you feel like you're fine and you can defend yourself online, there's still so many regions in that area that can pose security issues onto your social media personality. Whether it's from like online hacking to pretending to be someone else to stealing information to luring in people. There's people that have bad intentions on there, really bad ones. There's been news about this. There's been arrests made. There's been searches for these kind of things, and it's seriously a concern. So, if you're on social media right now, remember that you're not the only one on there. There's people that could be tracking you as you speak, as you're watching this video even. There's people that could be looking into your account and trying to find more information about you, stealing your information. Even the platforms that make these social media companies, all of these things could be finding you and selling your information online. You could be well known around the world right now, by the way. Totally possible. So security issues. There's so many things that could happen to you. They could be minor. You could get hacked minorly and then have to restart your account or whatever. Or you could be like seriously like tracked down and your information could be shared globally on these platforms, especially like TikTok, Instagram, and those platforms like Meta that are known to share information. So it's really important to know. Trust me. Alright, so lastly on this, or my list of negatives, is general loss of time, connection, and mindset. It's basically encapsulates everything on this list. When you're on social media, it's true. It's inevitable. You're wasting, well, not necessarily. Not all the time. But there's a lot of time that you're wasting your time. Whether you're just scrolling away, doom scrolling, you are watching Italian brain rot. I'm bringing this up because it's a thing today. Whether you're losing that connection with real people, with your family, with your friends in real life, in real time, or you're losing that motivation, that mindset to put that darn device down and go out and do stuff that's actually going to help you. Spending that time on social media is going to worsen all these aspects of time, connection, and mindset. So be careful. If you're just like looking at people's posts and random accounts on social media, you're probably losing track of time quite quickly. It's going to go by really quickly, and you're going to feel bad after it because you're going to be wasting that time unless you're like making content and stuff. But a lot of the time, you're going to be feeling uninspired and kind of guilty in the end after that day or those hours of scrolling, and you might feel sad that you lost that connection with your family. It's going to make them feel separated, disconnected, and it might even make you lose some mindset and that motivation in here to progress yourself, to activate yourself, and to get out there. And even I struggle with this, but I'm working on ways to fix this. I'm trying to help you guys fix this. That's why I'm making this content right now. This video you're watching right now from me as a 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old teenager who's just making content to help you guys. That's my effort in making all of these things less worrisome for everyone, even adults and kids in this world. So now let's jump in to the important things and why and why not you should be using social media every day, and how this should be used wisely and how it could hurt you in the long term. So stay tuned if you want to hear about this really important stuff, because all of this is important. Let's do it. Alright, so now, apart from everything that I've listed on the whiteboard here, from the positive aspects, the negatives of using social media in our everyday lives. Let's get to the wise usage of social media. Why should you be using it? Alright, so like I've mentioned, expression, opinion, perspective, content creation, connection, community, unity. Those are all things you should be focusing on, the positive aspects of each social media. For all of you guys watching, especially you teenagers who are still developing in the brain and who are still learning how to adapt to everyday life. You should be using social media to your advantage, not your disadvantage. Use it to express yourself in a way that isn't gobbling up hours of your day every week. You should be using it to express yourself, to share your interests, your hobbies, your art, whether it's just like figurative arts or whatever, physical art. You should be using social media to learn new things, to expand that knowledge, like mentioned. You should be using it to interconnect with people, to inherit cultures, to learn about the world and how it impacts you. And all of these things that social media brings you positively can be used to your advantage, but in some ways it can also be used to your disadvantage, and it could hurt you in the in the long term. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next clip here. So remember, positives: use it to your advantage, to help you out every day, to express yourself nicely, to share your art, your perspectives, your hobbies, to expand your knowledge, to learn new things, to become part of a community that helps you grow as a human being. And that's generally the aspect that's the most important of social media. It should be used positively. And these companies, they know you. They're sneaky. They're trying to lure you in to stay on there for hours, and to an end that is really inevitable, and that's just too long. Don't spend all your days using social media. Use them when the time is right. All platforms. Let's get into the things you should not be using it for now, because it's all really, really, really important, and everyone should be listening. Just keep your ears open. Alright, everyone. Lastly, what you should not be using social media for, and how this is going to hurt you. If you're using social media every day as a method to kind of escape reality, to doom scroll, to put everything that you need to do in the back of your head, to procrastinate, to share negative things, to, well, if you're trying to kind of share things with like your friends, even with the public, to stories, to posts, to reels, if you're trying to share those things that are negative, they're going to hurt maybe other people's feelings, that are going to influence a society negatively, don't do it. Stop what you're doing and don't do that, because it's not good. If you're using social media to blame people in any realm, if you're using social media to I don't know, there's a whole list. I can't even think of something because it's so vast. If you're using social media to spread misinformation, to cure your boredom, to spend time that you think is wise, to make time go by quickly, to feel like you have a place of belonging, to laugh even. There are so many better ways to do this than using social media. It's just the truth. We've just been adapted and we've been acculturized to social media because that's when we were born. The age of social media and the age of technology. And if there was a way to reverse that, everyone would be on that. The government, the companies, the revolution of the world. If there was a way to stop that and reverse it, it would be a good idea. So, don't use social media to your disadvantage to hurt yourself, because it's going to hurt yourself. It's going to hurt your mindset and your life very quickly if you use it too much and to the wrong cause. A wise way to use social media is as a balance. To express yourself, to share your opinions, to be kind, to spread good, solid, real information, to prevent addiction, to inspire people, to motivate others, to excuse me, to put your time, use your time wisely, and overall connect with people more, even if it's your family online. Do it. That's what it should be used for, in moderation and balance with real life. You shouldn't be on social media for the most part of the day. Yes, dedicate a minority time to positive uses of social media, not the majority. Because if you're using it for hours, even 2 hours a day, that's a lot, especially after school. It's gonna just wreck your evening. Be honest. But on weekends, get some exercise. On weekdays, get some exercise. Go to the gym. Hang out with friends. Put down the phone. Go hang out in your front yard outside. Get some fresh air. Go for a bike ride. Go for a walk. Go for a jog. It's gonna raise your mood and your mindset. It's gonna give you that motivation to work on yourself, to do better, and to foster a better life for yourself. That's basically all the advice I can give today about social media and the two sides of it. So think about those aspects, how it affects you, and how a 16-year-old here is gonna teach you about this and how it's gonna help you. So use social media wisely, not the majority of the time, the minority. Use it to express yourself positively, spread kindness, not hate, to help others, and to put your time to the right things, such as motivation and mindset. That's my goal on YouTube and Instagram. So you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow on YouTube Shorts. Peace.